My mum was like, if you're going to start something, finish it, do it properly.
You absolutely do.
Yeah.
And you have to do it with 100% like effort as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's epic. That's good. Good advice. Good advice.
Your mum.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, but right is subjective. Welcome back to another episode of Defiant Talk. It's your host here, Sid, and my business partner and co-founder and co-host of Defiant Talk, Jamie.
Oh, yeah. How we going?
We're going really well, mate. How was your morning?
Yeah, it was really good. I actually didn't get to Kaya today, but yeah, I'm definitely going to get there next week, I think.
Our guest here, Christine Tang, better known as Tangy. She comes to Kaya quite a bit.
Yeah.
Actually, haven't seen her in a few weeks, but here we are.
Awesome. So, Christine, co-founder of Fellow Swim, iconic swimwear brand, over 175K followers on Instagram. You got the likes of Kendall Jenner, Kim Kardashian, Emily, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Yeah, Emrata. So, yeah, obviously lots of success with the brand. How did it all sort of start? What's the background of Fellow Swim?
I suppose it just started with me and my business partner being friends, and we were just talking about doing a label together. At the time, I already had my own fashion brand, which I'd had for about 13 years prior to that. So I had, that was all the groundwork that was already made for our production and everything. So we just decided to do it for fun, and it just ended up growing and exceeded what we thought that it would become. And then Fella started.
So it was a side project that turned into the project, right?
Correct.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when did the label actually start? Was it in 2014, 2013?
I think we did our first shoot in 2013 to prepare for it, because obviously you design your collection and then you shoot it, and then we launched it in 2014. I think that's why you read that.
Yeah, you're a ghost on the internet. There's nothing about you.
Yeah, we are ghosts.
So
we like it that way as well.
Yeah, so no, it's great to have you here. So what does the creative process to building a brand like Fella actually look like? How do you come up with the ideas? How do you get inspired? What does the manufacturing process look like?
The designing process is easy. Swimwear is the way that we work is we have our staples, we have our collection, and then the half of the collection that does amazing, we keep it for the next season, and the other half we cut and then we design again. Swimwear is not brain surgery. It's really simple. There's not that many shapes involved, to be really honest with you. So it's probably like a 2 to 3 week process of design, and then after that we start sampling, and we have a factory up in Bali, which is our own. So we work. Before COVID, we were flying up there a lot and spending probably 4 to 5 months a year, coming back and forth from Sydney. And my business partner lives in Perth, so we will just meet up there and design and do all the creative stuff. But now we have to send things back and forth, so it's taking a lot longer. After we sample, it's just all trial and error, I suppose. But the fun thing about designing for us is every season we collaborate with an artist. We never do our own prints, so we normally...
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because we're not artists, so we don't want to go and just buy a print from a print house. So normally we take it from someone that's a little bit more creative. The collection that we're doing now actually is with an Indigenous artist from West Australia. Her name's Betty Carrington. She doesn't even speak a word of English, so we had to go through her agent, her the Warman Gallery, which is who represents her, and they did all the groundwork for us. It was just so amazing to be able to even connect or work with her, and she ended up giving us 2 of her prints to put on our swim.
Awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So when the brand was first starting, obviously both of you guys as founders were pretty hands-on with every sort of aspect of the business, I imagine,
Yes.
right? Yeah. What's that look like now, sort of years later down the track? What are your kind of key roles as founders?
Well, we have a lot more time to sleep now. So before we were doing everything by ourselves because obviously we couldn't afford to pay, lots of staff to come and do every role. So we were doing everything ourselves. I mainly do the sales and the production, and Rosie's doing the marketing, creative, and development. So we now have a team of 5 in Sydney, and we've got a team of 2 in Perth, and then we have a team of our production team is a lot bigger than us. It's probably about 12 or 14 in Bali. So we just needed to have one person per role now.
Yeah.
And now we're also getting contractors to help us too. That's outside of Fella. So one person per
Role, yeah.
per role.
So in regards to, shifting from Fella being a side project to then becoming the point of focus and the main business that you poured attention into, was there a moment where you were like, okay, like this has got legs, we need to go all in? Was there a specific crucial moment that you were like, okay, it's time to scale here? Or was it more like an organic growth of the brand that happened?
It was a really organic growth, and I felt like we have to think about this one.
Yeah, that's a tricky question.
I guess
it's a tricky question.
was there a specific moment where you just saw things
Evolve.
really start evolving?
Yeah, it was probably mainly when we needed to give up our other jobs to be able to maintain this one that we decided that maybe this was the path that we should probably keep following because it was getting a lot of traction.
Yeah.
At that time, social media just started as well. I think it was around 2012. I think Instagram started blowing up. It was very new, but the algorithms were still in real time. There wasn't any, you didn't have to pay for, your social or anything. So at that time, I think we just were able to create really great imagery and we loved doing photo shoots and and I think at that time it grew organically. We didn't really have to put much effort.
Yeah. And it just made sense to go for it at that time. Yeah.
At the start, was there a specific strategy in regards to wanting to grow the brand? Was it driven by influence marketing, or was it just creative and creating this aspirational kind of scenarios that people wanted to be a part of?
It was influencer based. I think back then there was really only 5 swimwear brands back then that really stood out for me that I remember now. There was obviously Triangle. And then there was a few US brands like Miko and Acacia and I can't even remember any of the other Australian brands, Sea Folly and those ones, but it wasn't really as competitive as it was now. And back then everyone wanted to wear your swim, you didn't have to pay for the girls would just be like, can I please have some, I'll shoot it. It was, social media started becoming a thing. Bloggers started, kind of came about and so it kind of just grew organically, and it was I think we just came in at the right time.
And you just rode that wave of influencer marketing and Instagram absolutely blowing up. How has the strategy changed now to 2021? Are you guys still doing influence marketing? Have you pivoted the strategy more to advertising online?
Yes.
Because to this day, you still don't have a physical store, right?
We don't know, but we are looking into that as we speak, and we may be signing the lease on Monday. So
Nice. That's huge news.
So it made sense because we were looking for a new office because we've actually outgrown the space that we're in now. So the place that that we found has an office, and it also has a front of house too. So it's in Paddington.
Very nice. Very nice.
We don't 100%.
You
It
heard
hasn't
it
been
here first.
signed, so
Fingers
just
crossed,
just
fingers
watch his
crossed.
face.
We
Might
won't
not
leak
happen.
it.
Might not happen.
So obviously the timing, when you guys launched, the timing was perfect. As you
was
said,
perfect,
yeah, I remember the good old days of just being able to post something up and you just get so
Yeah.
much traction.
Yeah.
So, but how exactly did you get your products in the hands of the likes of Kimmy K and those type of names? Like, how did that actually happen?
We had a great PR agency in the States. They managed all our sampling over there. So they'd have a big showroom and they'd come in and pull swimwear and whatever they would want, and we would just gift them, and somehow it would end up in their hands. Like, it wasn't really, we do our PR in-house now, but they did a majority of our influencer seeding and our celebrity seeding for us. And on the other side, we also have celebrities like Rosie Huntington-Whiteley who contact us directly, and just message us and just ask for swim, and we'll just deal with them ourselves. So it's like a mixed bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously back then it would have been a lot more underpriced than it is now, right? Because I think a lot of people might not have known exactly how to price themselves and how to value themselves as an influencer.
Definitely. Yeah. It became such a big business.
Yeah, exactly. So these days, is it still the same sort of thing? Do you still work with PR agencies and just manage the people that come to you, or is there like specific people that you identify and you want to reach out to?
Because even with
Yeah,
PR, like even kind of going back to what you were saying with the initial PR agency in the States, was that an outreach from you guys going, we want to seed our product over to the States, or did the PR agency actually recognize the product and reached out to you?
No, we reached out to them.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were aligned with a lot of brands that we loved and wanted to be a part of, be aligned with. So it was more, I think, with the seeding and stuff, we had a list of people that we wanted to be aligned with, and I think that's how we target. Like, we have girls that we would, we'd love to see our swim on, and they're the ones that we approach, and hopefully they also, want to work with us as well. So yeah, it's been great because everyone's said yes. So there's
All right. So in the swimwear niche, obviously there's a lot of competition now, especially from when you first started to now. It's gone through the roof. How exactly does Fella Swim kind of stand out in such a flooded market?
as in gifting, or
No, just as in like how, as a brand, like how does Fella Swim actually stand out and stay relevant? Yeah, stay on top of the game.
there's so much involved. That's our marketing team plays the biggest part in this. We have an external marketing team, and we also have our in-house. They work collaboratively with our graphics and our PR and our social, and they just have to always just be, making sure that we're providing enough content, getting our EDMs out, like targeting the correct audience. There's so many factors. Like, it's just such a monster that I don't know too much about, but that is about 4 persons role together. Like,
It's a pretty loaded question, I know.
It's
But from what you say there, it's actually what we talk about a lot as well. In that creative is basically the only way to really stand out. Like,
and the thing is, like, we have to stay relevant. I believe that we always have to create content, and that's probably one thing that is one of the biggest costs in our business as well, because we're always shooting. We're always trying to get the swim on, on girls that align with us, and trying to create content with them. Also reposting and posting through socials. Like, there's so many elements to it. And then there's also like the paid marketing as well through, external marketing agency. There's a lot.
yeah.
So in regards to, again, the process of creating that content, how much has COVID affected you guys in the last 12 months, without having that ability to actually travel overseas and doing big production shoots? Do you have international teams that are still able to take the content that's required for the brand to keep flourishing?
Yes, we have done a few shoots overseas and created content with them. It's just been different where we haven't been able to fly over there and be a part of it, but it's almost taught us to let go as well, because we've just put the creativity into someone else's hands, which is actually much better for the business because you have different points of view in terms of how they perceive the brand and how they portray it. So we'll send them over the swimwear and they'll just create the content and send it back to us. And then we pick the images, and actually a really nice way to work now. And we're doing it more with people like creatives and bloggers and agencies and things like that overseas. Obviously, like, it's cold in Europe and the US at the moment, but once it gets hotter over there, we'll be working with them a lot. COVID has actually streamlined Fella and made us reassess our business in so many different ways. Like, firstly, we thought we were going to go under the minute that it hit, and frankly, it was actually the opposite that happened, and online became such a massive business during COVID, because I suppose everyone was just sitting at home online shopping. I'm not sure what was going on, but retail has been amazing. So the wholesale side, not so good, but online has been incredible. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm sure with your success with your brand, you'd probably have a lot of people coming up to you and saying, hey, I'm looking to start my business, or I'm looking to start this or that, and what's the best way to go about it? So, I mean, we've got a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs and people with big ideas that are listening to the show. What do you think was the real key, or maybe a few of the key things to your guys' successes?
I think just working really hard. Like, I don't think I slept for the first 2 years in the business. You need to pair yourself with really good people around you as well, like other amazing companies that can help elevate your brand. I think that's really important. It's a very, very competitive market. So I don't know if I'd recommend going into swimwear now, but yeah, if you were, just create amazing content, work with good people, and just believe in what you're selling as well. Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the partnership between you and your business partner? Were you guys friends before starting the brand?
Yeah.
And how does that partnership look like on a day-to-day level?
Our business relationship is quite abnormal because we're not in the same state. She resides in Perth and I'm in Sydney. It flows, like, it's worked so far. So COVID hasn't affected us because we've always worked remotely from each other. But yeah, our day-to-day is, because they're 3 hours behind.
You kick off the day.
We kick off the day. Our team kicks off the day, and then at about just after lunchtime, we start having our meetings, and we start conversing with each other on what needs to be done for the rest of the day. And we kind of wrap up, and they keep on going. Mm-hmm. And then when we wake up in the morning, we get all their notes from the night that they're working at. So
that's cool. Like, momentum around the clock.
Yeah, it's pretty much around the clock. So they could be working a lot earlier because we're already messaging them when they wake up at 6, and then they're messaging us, through the time when we're having dinner. So yeah.
That's cool. So what are the big, what's on the cards for Fella Swim this year, 5 years, 10 years? What's the big goal for Fella Swim?
We don't have goals. We just take every season as it comes, to be really honest.
Okay.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We've always worked like that, and we're cruisy. We're a very, very small business compared to other fashion brands, and we just design and make our own deadlines, and hopefully we're going to have this store opened by the middle of this year, and have a new collection out by September next year. Yeah. We've got a couple of collaborations actually in the mix with
celebrities, influencers?
No, with another brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I can't talk about it right now.
Can we take a guess?
Sure.
P Nation?
Nope. We'd love to work with Pip, but not P Nation.
That was my only guess.
It sounds
And it's
like
only because I've seen it at Kaya as well.
No, it sounds like you genuinely love the process. And I think that's probably another just important tip for anyone getting started. Like if you don't genuinely love the process, you're going to find it very hard to keep going and, you know, keep pushing through barriers and stuff like that.
Absolutely. It's like a 24-hour job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to love it.
So this is a segment of our podcast that we called Rocket Fire Questions.
Oh my God.
We always say that it's 10 questions, but it's actually 9 questions.
I worked that out the other day.
So both Jamie and I will be asking questions and we'd love to hear your answers.
Wait, is it like a one-word answer?
I mean, you can elaborate a little bit, but it's kind of fast questions if you can, depending on what you've got for us. So the first question is, if you could turn back time and change one thing in your journey, what would it be and why?
Straight out the gates.
Don't start the business.
Yeah, don't start the business.
And this can be in relation to like anything, like
As in my life?
it could be your life, or it could be, you know, in relation to the business, like anything that you've got for us, or like a lesson that you've actually learned through, you know, your journey up until this point, being a successful entrepreneur. I mean, you've owned 2 businesses prior to Fella. There was another one.
I wish I actually started Fella a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Nice.
Was it in like on the cards before, and you were kind of hesitant in regards to starting it?
No, I think I thought about swim a long time ago. Like I did clothing for a long time. It was just like so tedious. Like it's just such it's easy, and I felt like I started quite later in my life, and I was ready to probably settle down, have my daughter, and it's hard. Like it's, you know, you're juggling a lot between family and having your own business. So I wish I started it in my like early 20s instead of like, you know, my late 20s or early 30s, you know. Yeah.
Just in regards to what you said at the start, how is clothing actually different from swimwear?
So much more work. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
More work?
Yeah.
Okay.
As in clothing is more work,
Yeah,
right?
much more.
Oh, clothing.
much
Yeah,
more,
right. Okay. Yeah. What's the first thing you do when you wake up every morning?
I walk to the shower.
Cold shower, hot shower?
Hot shower.
Yeah.
Very, very hot shower.
Okay.
You're actually one of the first people that hasn't said check my phone.
Oh, really? No.
That's great.
Yeah.
Question number 3. Who are your 3 dream dinner guests, dead or alive, and why?
My what?
3 dream dinner guests.
Oh, dream dinner guest. Meghan Markle. I'd like to pick her brain right now.
Harry.
Harry.
An Oprah. An Oprah. There you go. We entered the fire.
So Meghan Markle as the first.
Yeah. I would say.
I like your nails, by the way. Just for people that are just listening and not watching this on YouTube, Christina's got 5 different colours, and it's like exceptional.
I was at a colour party. Yeah. And I had to go with colour.
I love
so
that.
that's why I had them
exceptional. I've
painted.
never
They're a
seen
bit
it.
chipped now.
Next question, Christine. What's the last new thing that you've tried?
Last new thing.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that? Have you heard of iFly?
No.
Oh, okay. It's this thing. It's the skydiving, but it's in a tank.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
It's really fun.
Is it local?
No, it's an hour away. I wasn't driving, so I'm not exactly sure which direction we were going. So fun.
Good fun?
So fun.
Nice.
You drool so much and you don't realise. But
Yeah.
I've always loved skydiving, and that was really good.
That's interesting.
Epic.
really
Might have
loved
to
it.
take the team
Yeah.
there.
You should.
If you could suggest one book, what would it be?
Oh, do you know what I've gone back to read is The Secret.
Okay.
Only because there's so much. I felt like I just really needed to go back and do some motivational reading.
Yeah.
I read like Choose Your Own Adventures.
Yeah.
like Dan Brown books. Like they're just kind of mind-numbing, stories. But just a bit
nice. Okay. What's the best advice you've ever received?
I've always been brought up to do things right, like do it. If you're not going to do something, you got to do it properly. And like, I don't care if, if it's just the most mediocre thing, you just have to do it right. Like you have to finish it from beginning to end, no matter what.
It's so crazy you say that. That was my answer when we did our first podcast.
That's the advice that Jamie's got given.
Yeah. My mum was like, if you're going to start something, finish it, do it properly.
You absolutely do. Yeah. And you have to do it with 100% like effort as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's epic. That's good. Good advice. Good advice.
Your mum.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, but right is subjective.
I'll show you
I
this.
perceive to be right, it might be completely different.
I'll show this to my mum. She'll be
That
happy.
is very
She'll be happy.
true, actually.
So when you reach the pearly gates of heaven, what do you want God, being him, her, or they, to say to you when they greet you?
It would be a they, and I would like them to have look, I love eating, right? Like, that is my passion. I love going out to dinners. I just love food. So I would like them to say here's as much as you can eat, how much you can have, go for your life.
Bon appetit.
That's awesome. Christine, what motivates you daily to be the best version of yourself?
My daughter, she is the biggest legend. I love her. She's like 2, going on 13. She just brings me back to earth, you know what I mean?
She's going on 13.
Sometimes I have the worst day and I come home and she's just there, and she's just great, and just puts life back into perspective,
That's epic.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. This is our final question. What does the word defiant mean to you? Nothing.
I should have done my research when I came here.
If we use it in a sentence, it's like defiance or, going against the norm type.
Well, I just see it as like a definition, you know what I mean? You're defining something, or you're also standing against something, you're standing for something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it, but I'm not sure.
No, that's fair enough.
I mean,
I've had a
it's your
similar
own
answer.
interpretation of it. Some people have said, paving
Your own path.
your own path.
Going against the grain, going against the norm. There's so many different things, but we always find that one an interesting one to ask. So
that's us for today. Christine, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your story about Fella Swim and how you guys have managed to grow this beast of a business.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful.
thanks so much.
Have a beautiful day. See you guys.
Thank you.